Hi, I'm Ryan. I spent almost 21 years in the United States Navy. Here's another Navy story. The first time I went to Busan, South Korea, we called it Busan back then, but I went out with four of the junior officers from my ship, so ensigns and lieutenant junior grades. We spent the day eating, drinking, going to the beach, just having a good time in South Korea. And that night we ended up at a bar that was underneath a almost brand new casino. It was a really nice bar. I remember it had carpet throughout the entire bar, which struck me as being very fancy. So in the bar was just the five of us, the bartender, and then one South Korean guy who was celebrating his 18th birthday there in the bar by himself. So that was kind of sad. Uh, so we were hanging out with this guy, and he kind of spoke English, so we were just hanging out, talking, having fun. He had actually bought a very nice bottle of whiskey from the bartender, so he's pouring shots of whiskey for us, and we're just having a good time. So eventually, the topic of conversation turned to flaming shots, which is always a bad idea. But this South Korean guy was all about it. So the bartender lines up 6 shots of Bacardi on the bar, goes to light them on fire. They're not lighting on fire. So some of us kind of realize what's going on, and we keep our mouth shut because we're not interested in getting involved in a flaming shot situation. But one of the guys, one of the other JOs, is kind of oblivious, so he tells the bartender, he's like, hey, you have to use 151 because regular Bacardi doesn't have a high enough alcohol content to light on fire. So we're all like, great, thanks, appreciate that. So we drink the Bacardi shots. The bartender pours out 6 shots of 151, and they immediately catch on fire as soon as he tries to light them. So uh, it's probably never a good idea for 6 people to take a flaming shot. We made that decision even worse by all like deciding that we were gonna take them down at the same time, standing in a circle. So we're all standing in a circle, holding our shots, and on the count of three, we all take these shots down. So it's 1, 2, 3, go. So one of the guys drinks his shot, no problem, no ill effects. Another guy who was probably smarter than the rest of us blew his shot out and then drank the shot with no flames on it. I drank my shot, but I got a little some dribbles of 151 on my lip, so I got a little bit of my lip burned, singed a little bit of my mustache, which I always had a mustache while we were on deployment. Uh, Another guy actually didn't drink his shot at that time at all, so he's still holding his flaming shot. And another guy got most of the shot into his mouth, but and then stopped because he didn't fully commit to the shot. He also got some of the 151 on his face, so now he's got flames on his face. He's got a mouthful of 151 that he can't swallow. So instead, he blows it out and blows out this giant fireball like a dragon right into the center of all of us. It ends up lighting the carpet in the middle of all of us on fire. So everything is totally haywire at this point. I'm slapping my face to try to put the flames out. My friend that's still holding his flame shot is trying to stamp the flames out, but he's just spilling 151 out of his shot glass onto the fire, causing it to spread even more. So everything is out of control. The bartender runs around to the end of the bar where there's a gap, runs back towards us, grabs this big serving tray, and uses it to put the fire out on the floor. So we weren't interested in sticking around to find out what happens after that, so we took a bunch of money, threw it down on the bar, ran outside, grabbed a cab, and got back to the ship as quickly as we could. So, yeah, so I sent a message to my wife, my girlfriend back then. I just told her, hey, I slightly burned my face with a flaming shot. This was back in the early 2000s, so you couldn't really send pictures and stuff back and forth like you can now. So it was actually a couple weeks before she saw me or saw a picture of me. I didn't think it was any big deal, but apparently she had spent those couple of previous weeks thinking that I had roasted my whole face off like Phantom of the Opera or something like that. But yeah, turned out okay. So yeah, so that's the time. Went to South Korea and almost burned down a bar. Thanks.